G'day and welcome to this video on the XC restoration. I was going to call it an update, but it goes for 20 something minutes, so I might as well call it a full video. Now this one is about a few things. The power windows. I've finished putting the motors back together and sort of reconditioned the gearboxes on each of the power window motors. Thanks to John Parnas for the piece of acetal. Machined it up, made 12 pieces and put them in, so we go into a bit of that. We don't spend too much time on it because we did power window motors in the last video. John actually asked me, he was impressed with the colour I painted the engine, and I'm going to paint some swatches for him, but I can't find the paint. I found some of the paint, but it's the wrong one. I mixed the colour for the engine myself. I got them colour matched off an FE big block set of rock covers I had, and when I got them back I realised it was a little bit light for what I wanted. It was more like that light forward blue. And so I added some black and mucked around with the colour a bit to get the colour I wanted. And he liked the colour, so I've got to lay down a couple of little things for him and bang him in the post, but I've got to find the paint. I'm sure I've got it somewhere, but it's not in that cupboard over there. So John, if you see this, just hang in there, I'll get it done for you. Lots of parts come here. And we got some parts donated. These are these go around the taillights, and I gave them a bit of a clean. These were black, they were off a GS type thing. You can see my fingers are really sweaty, but these are the ones that go around the taillights, and they sort of, which way do they go? I can't even remember how they go. Do they go like that? No. It is this one. I never said I was clever. Yeah, they sort of go around the taillight like that. So I buffed them up. I just dropped these in, used paint strip on them. Then I soaked them in hot water last night and scrubbed from behind to get rid of any residue, and just buffed them out, and they look grotty now because I've been handling them, but they came up absolutely beautifully, so thank you for those. So lots of parts of purchase. So I've got everything now to stick the doors together and get the power windows working, and I keep talking about that, but it's all done. Liam Scanlon from Queensland, he's a fellow school teacher, has donated something which I'll show you in this video, which is absolutely brilliant. So Liam, thank you very much, sir. That is such a great thing to get. I'll show you that. There's a bit on that as well. The other thing is I've been in touch with Viafab, and Viafab sell lots of fabrics and vinyls for cars, obviously, and I'm having a bit of trouble matching the macro suede, which is the green fabric that I've got Jason Hill to trim the seats in. Now, I can't get a carpet anywhere that'll match it. You are stuck with either dark greens or the light greens that don't match, or cerulean, which is a beautiful Holden colour. None of them match, so I'm going black on the carpet, and a lot of cars have different coloured seats from carpet. That doesn't really bother me, so that's the way we're going with that. It's not what I originally planned, but nothing on this car is as I originally planned. The XW was, that was all made by design. The XCs, let's see what we can get to make it all work, because the part support isn't there for that model. So I need to still find a set of GXL door trims, and one chap sent me a message to say he had some, but I haven't heard back. And I don't care how bad they are, I just want those buckles for the strap. There's 2 on each door trim, so I need that set of buckles before we can get the door trims done. Because the ones I've got at the moment is ZH Fairland, they're not going to cut it. Now, there's another thing, I've got this pole set up, a straw pole, and there's a link to it in the description. I'd like you to vote, because I'm now having a bit of trouble with the speedo. I've got a police interceptor type speedometer in it, which I got because it was there. It was unusual, I've never seen one, and I thought, wouldn't that be cool to have it in the car? And I've put it in, not sure if I like it. Now, the first thing I do when I buy a car is get a PPSR check, just to make sure there's no finance, and also to make sure that the car's not stolen. It's on the written off vehicle register, which I don't think 1977 cars are. I think that database was begun in 1998, so I'm not sure if that applies to this car. But basically, if the thing's financed and it's got money owing on it or stolen, you can't spend any money on it. You've got to just ditch it or tell the police, because, so I always make sure I get a PPSR before I buy the thing, and I did that. But then I went and got a comprehensive PPSR to try and find out what the mileage was or the history of it in some way, and all I found out about it was it's a Falcon, which I kind of knew that, and that it was registered last in New South Wales. Now the car started in Witchproof in Country Vic, which is up near Bendigo somewhere. God, it's warm in here. It's 37 and I'm sweating. Yeah, so it ended up in New South. So, I don't know. I know nothing about the car. So, if I do go the original Speedo route, I don't know what, rude. whatever you're saying. I don't know what mileage I'd set it as, so I don't know the legality of setting it up as 0 or what, really. I just don't know what to do with it, but I am leaning towards a stock Speedo because I think the car's going to look so nice and so original, sort of, the seats won't, but, you know, what can you do? That I think it's a pity to, I don't know, I'll see what you think. I want your opinion. So if you don't mind clicking on the straw poll thing and just saying, should we use an original one or should we use the Police Interceptor one, that'd be great. The battery died in the XD, so I had to lift the one out of the XW. I took it out for a drive yesterday. There's still a few things I've got to do on this. I've got to lower that back end. I'm thinking about doing them on the school holidays, but not just that. I think it's time for power steering. But also the manifold. I was thinking about doing the manifold and the carburetor because I've still got its little 2-barrel one. Anyway, let's look at the Speedo. Well, it's all dusty and dirty in here, but that's the Speedo I'm grappling with. Police car. I'm wondering, that's a good angle. It's really grotting in here with dust because I haven't had door seals and stuff on. Hang on, let me try and get, that's probably better there. I'm thinking about going the original one, which would match the tack on the other side. I would really value your opinion. See what you reckon. Anyway, let's get on with the video. Bits back from the blaster. We've got lawnmower bits. You can see these ones here have a little bit of pitting on them. I had this idea of having that done in like silver zinc, but I don't know how that's going to look. It's a bit pitted, that sort of stuff. XC bonnet latch. Just loads of crap, basically. Acetal, or acetal, or Darwin, whatever you want to call it. This is from John Parnas for the window motors. Now, normally if this was a bit of mild steel or aluminium, I'd face that edge, run a centering bit in it to give us a nice sort of funneled hole, put a live center in, stick it in the chuck there and turn it. It needs to be smaller than that, but this has a little bit of give in it, so I'm not going to turn that well if I do that. So I'll stick it in and I'll just turn off a door's worth, if you know what I mean. So sort of 3 small bits, then I'll use a pairing bit to cut them off, and then I'll get the next one, and so on and so forth. Interesting thing with this is the fact that this is going to be a lot stronger than the gears, the plastic gears in the motor. And so where the old ones are all sort of broken up, the old rollers were sort of all broken up, they were sacrificial to a point where now if I use this stuff, good chance it's going to be stronger than the gear, so the gear might self-destruct with time or in time because it won't be as strong, obviously. So that's just something to be mindful of. But either way, this is, I reckon, the best way to go. You'll find 3 rolls. I think the rolls work out like $5 each. I think a door's worth is something like $15. So you're looking at $60 for the rollers, and this is not expensive at all. Anyway, that's what we're up to at the moment. Mention this? I can't remember. This was a fuel filler that had the rust on the inside, and I cleaned it up with Scotch-Brite. I'm going to take it back to the plater and just find out if they can do anything with that, because I'm not that happy with it. I was going to put phosphoric acid in it, but I'd sooner it plated as well. Don't know how that's going to go. I'll take it and ask them anyway. Right. Come in early today. What have we got here? A regular post. Where's the pairing bit? That's what we use to cut this off. So I'll put a regular cutter in one and a pairing bit in the other, so I can just change from one to the next. Alright, so we stick it in the lathe. I can only sort of put in about that much at a time, because otherwise it starts moving around. This is off the arc. I'm just going to wipe it down with that. You can see how it comes off. Absolutely beautiful. And I'm just cutting a few mil off. And when you get it off, it's sort of like that. It's cool. So I've just got a pairing bit set up in the other lathe. These lathes are off the arc. These are really old. Probably older than me. Oh, come back. There we go. Lovely. So we'll stick them in here. We'll just dice a bit off. It's easier doing it this way, but I've got to get it right in like that. Otherwise, it tends to flex under duress. Alright, we've got to go back out here a bit. Be about there, it's a bit close for comfort. There we go. And the idea of this is it will fit in to there. So these are all got to be the same diameter, obviously. And once they're lubricated and so forth, they will fit in well. That's the idea anyway. Right, you can see we've got these pieces. There's the bit left over. I was going to try them at home to make sure they're right. I've made them around the same diameter as the outer part of the oval bit of that. And you can see when you turn it just comes off in lovely strips. Really, really nice stuff to use. So we'll try that and see how it goes. Right, what we've got is wiper motors that are sort of cleaned up. I haven't gone berserk cleaning up in here because I don't want any cleaning agents sort of getting down into the bush, because I lubricated I just oiled this one. This is the driver's one we had. Where the stuffed ones that were water damaged, I put some grease in. I'm just cutting a bit of pajama. This isn't the right rag to use, but sometimes you can't afford to give two poos. Anyway, I'm just going to go in there. It's hot in here today. It's 30 degrees in the garage and humid, so if sweaty gloves gross you out, you might want to flick through this and not watch it. Here's our rattle canned wiper motor, or sorry, window motor, which has got powdery fingerprints all over it. That really doesn't matter. I've just given these a preliminary cleanup. Now, that's all the acetyl we have left. You can see I've left a little index there, just so I know if I need any more at any future date. I know what diameter they're supposed to be. We've cut them. They're the old ones, of course, out of this motor. They've gone oval. They're more of a fibrous type material. So they are sacrificial, as I said before, where these now would become sacrificial instead of those, because that's going to be tougher than that. But anyway, we don't care for now. We just won't reef on it when we wind the window up. So we wipe all the excess off and stick this little guy on. We can actually stick some voltage in there first, probably. But yeah, we'll just put this on. It goes that way. And it has a little screw retaining it, which is still a bit grungy, but we don't care, it'll be alright. And we screw them in. Oh, God, wouldn't it be good if I put that in the right spot? I never said I was good at this, right? So I'm not an expert. And these screws here, which are still a bit dirty, but it doesn't matter. I'll clean these screws up at the same time I clean the regs up. And for the sake of storage, I'm just going to pop these window motors on the other bench to free up some room here, because I'm still doing body work on the door and I don't want greasy crap everywhere. Oh, what am I doing? So, that will do. Do you want to see it work? Oh, okay. Hang on a sec. Alright, here we go. In for some voltage. Ready, set. Lovely. And reverse polarity. And it'll go the other way. Like that. So I'm going to do the other three, and by the time you see these guys again, I'll be putting them on the regulators and in the doors, because I have some parts here. Whoops, I forgot to tell you about this guy here. There's a little O-ring in there. You can dig it out with a dentist tool. That one. That seems to be still in good serviceable nick, so I'm going to leave it there. But that is another thing to keep in mind. Let's give it a bit of grease. Because I forgot to mention it before. Anyway, you get the picture. Getting a look at this old window, and I've got to take the seal out. I can bring it down like that, and the seal will withdraw. Safest way to do it is actually cutting it. But I just thought I'd save the seal. Just on the off chance we need it. Oh, gee whiz. And that'll just unhook. There's a little hook on the base of the seal that goes around the thing in there. So we'll get this off and paint it. But they're distorted anyway. You can see there, that was done sort of, that wasn't me. Here we go. And they sort of lock it all together. That'll undo there. So it sits in and catches on that little hook. I don't care that they're manky, because I can just paint them. They're supposed to be painted anyway. I'll just have to straighten it, that's all. There we go. Same deal, just bent on the outside. And that seal's in remarkable condition actually. It's lovely. I could soak that and just clean up with a toothbrush or something. I wouldn't have bought a new one if I'd known it was that good. So we have to, no, I'm filming her because this is our beautiful old dog. This is Annie. She's blind as a bat. She can't see a thing. She's got a brain tumour. But she's still got an appetite and she can toilet herself, but we have to guide her up and down the stairs. See, she's walking into a chair. Annie. So the kids and I always do that to sort of help her along.
She'll be fine.
Whoop, hang on, going up the stairs. Hang on, just careful. I put those temporary ledges at the front because her paws will slip through.
Sometimes?
And yeah, I don't want her to break her leg, so I stuck those little ledges on the front of the step, the treads.
Sometimes it still slips.
She stands on the top, but she puts her foot well forward. Anyway, she's still coping at the moment. I better go and say hello to her, just a moment. So while Andy's having a drink, we're having a look at this window. There's a rear window. We've still got these tabs for the rear window demist on both sides, so it's wonderful. So I'll just take the edge of it, I guess, and I'll throw it in the shed until Jeff's ready to fit it. Well, hopefully that doesn't come to any harm under there. I've got the sticky side on the outside so the demist part's protected as best I can. Here's the old seal. Now, as I said before, this is in really good nick. It's just got a bit of crusty old sealer there. What I'm going to do at the end of the car, or when I'm finished putting bits on, I'm going to offer this stuff free to patrons if they want it. There's a few bits that have been donated that I haven't used because I was donated a couple of them, or I had a couple of them. And I'll ask the people who donated them if they want them back. There's only a few bits like that, but the seal, yeah, I mean that's usable. Clean that up, that's as good as new. It's nice and pliable and supple and everything, so that's why I wanted to save it. Well, we're coming to the very end of the door repairs. Looking good, they're nice and straight. Just doing work as I see it, as I need to do it. I was worried about that radius there. That's where the tab had broken off. The retaining tab from underneath had broken off. But I think that's going to be fine. I'm pretty happy with them on the whole. I've welded all new sections in here. That's all new metal up to about there. And it's got a ridge. I've put a ridge in it. It's close to what they had originally, just to give it that strength there. I do have to, where the skin is, I need to go and get that filler out of there. You can see the filler's gone over where the ridge of the strip is. So it has to look like that. So it has to look folded down where that's full of filler and that's no good. So I've got to take that out. But yeah, look, I mean, there's bits and pieces like this which I've had to take back. Same with that one, really. This is the, oh yeah, that's the one I did the skin on. This one looks like, this one's had it's got the original skin, sorry, but yeah, I've gone over there with filler, so I'm not too happy with that. But anyway, look, they're getting there. So I'm tipping, the bike tank's over there, haven't done that yet. I'm tipping, I'll have these painted on the weekend. I have to move the cars out and clean the garage out before I paint them, but once they're painted and they're on the car, it's fun stuff, I reckon. The boot lid's going to be a nice, easy, simple job to do, so I'm not too worried about that. Parts haul. I think I've gone over some of this stuff in the past anyway. I've got the windscreen mouldings at the front, and these are the rear ones here, which we're ready to rub back and paint. Hayden and Matt Larragee have donated these scoops, so we clean them off in a haphazard sort of way. We've got to continue cleaning those and paint those as well once the doors are finished. The doors are nearly finished now. Just got to wait for appropriate weather to paint them. Headlight buttons. One of these has a little crack right there, so I'll just re-weld that. I've got two sets of these. Matt from the Ford Forum gave me a whole front, which has a pair in it. I might use one of those instead. And of course these ones here. Remember that the radiator support I welded out because the guy that had it before me made such a mess of the thing. And revisiting this, we had this replated. The reason is I wasn't happy with the inside. I cleaned it with Scotch-Brite on a screwdriver and with an electric drill. Had it redone. It's rough because it was rough anyway, but we've got rid of all that snot that was in there. So that's all good, ready to go. And you know, some lawnmower bits and stuff like that for the other things. The only part in here is is appropriate to the SC is the bonnet, what do you call it? The first stage latch, if you like. That was done in silver because everything else is done in silver. And I didn't want to pay extra just to get that done in gold, but it doesn't matter. Right, moving on to some of the stuff I bought. I wanted to get all these doors finished, so I bought some parts. We've got the front and rear door handles. Sorry, the rears are there, the fronts are here. They're packaged differently, but they look to be identical. Apparently the original ones are better, but I'm going to go with these because I want the things to look brand new. What's that? Front Bailey channel. The rear Bailey channels are narrower, they're smaller. It's a two-piece kit there from Rest Bears and the same with that. All the clips to put these trims on here. Now these were donated, these ones here were donated by Bobby Smith some time ago, and they're beautiful. The rear one, I'm still missing one rear one. Now that is the right-hand rear. The left-hand rear is the same, but obviously mirrored. And I still haven't got one of those. There was a set that he sent me, but he sent me all straight ones, and these ones are dog-legged at the back, or at least they're turned up at the back. I've got the door belts, the outer belts. These are all the outer ones, so I want to put the glass in sooner than later. We've rebuilt all the power steering. I keep calling power steering, what is it? Power window motors. They've got all the new rollers in. They've just been rattle canned, but all the new rollers are in there that we've made, and we've put those in, so these are ready to go in. Lock set, the boot, which has the clip and the little rod thing and the little gasket and all that sort of stuff. That's for the boot. And of course, that's the ignition and front door. The clips again I mentioned, and they can also do the mouldings around the taillights that were donated as well. Pièce résistance. We've got this from Liam Scanlon. Now Liam has donated the knobs, the dash knobs. One was the centre air and the other one was the wiper. And he said he wanted to donate a front bumper bar because I don't have one of those yet. And this is even more useful because it's just so much harder to get in good condition. So Liam, mate, if you see this, thanks very, very much. And you can see just the condition it's in. It's beautiful. I'll just give it a little bit of a clean here and there, and that'll be as good as new. I'm very, very happy with that. Fairlane LTD ones are somewhat easier to get. Thermal GXL, a lot harder in good condition. Also in the kitty is this carpet. Now, this is black. You'll notice, obviously, it's the ultra thick cut pile there. XC's had almost shag pile carpet in them. This is far thicker. Now, this car is going to have a green interior. Where's my swatch? Just a moment. This is it here. It's macro suede. Now, virtually impossible to match that to anything. It won't match to any of the other carpets I've seen. Now, it obviously doesn't match that either, but it's a good contrast. So parchment interiors and stuff like that probably had a similar sort of thing where you had a black carpet and a much lighter seat with door cards and side trims and all that sort of stuff. It's not an unusual thing to see, but it's the only way I can go with this car. So I bought a full set from Dave down at Knox Auto Trimmers, and he gave me a very, very good price on it. Beautiful quality stuff. So I'm really, really happy with that. And also, I'm going to hold it in with a brand new set of scuff plates. Again, the Rare Spares parts. Sold, a lot of the stuff I buy isn't directly through Rare Spares, it's from Kingswood Country. They seem to be quite reasonable. So that's those as well. So I've got everything to get the thing really moving along. Now the other thing I've got, which I might have shown you, are these from Andy Brook. Now I only need one of these, and I might have shown you these, I can't remember. These are new old stock nose cones for the front guards. Now I only need one of those. They're die cast by the look of it. So we have a set of those. I've got a very good one, but that's all I've got. And Andy gave me a pair of these new ones, so I'll give him back the side that I don't use. These ones aren't drilled for the eyebrow mouldings. That needs to be done later. But Andy, thanks again for that. And I've got a bunch of headlights and things to give him back because he donated a whole lot of things, and I just have to give him back what I don't use. So that's pretty good as far as the parts are concerned. Hey, look what just rocked up in the post. Vinyl sample from Vifab. And that looks absolutely great in terms of a match for our green. I am well happy with that. It's got a grain, which is different from original, but that is going to do well. I like it. I'm happy with that. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you around.